dusk, so start picking out some reference points you can use in the night time.
Hello everybody and welcome back to another live stream from the AOR PC GT3 Elite League on Project Cars. We are still in Season 7, we got 3 rounds to go, which means that tonight we have got round number 8 out of 10 and we are at Silverstone for 39 laps of racing. But it's not going to be in the dead daylight like the graphic would suggest. We're going to switch out to the race screen now and bam, it's in the middle of the night, 23 o'clock, well, 11 p.m. in the evening, start time in game, so it's no lighting naturally on the track, all floodlights and headlights on the cars that will light up the racing here today. Unfortunately though, Yorkie is missing for tonight's action. He is away on holiday, so I'm joined by another man who has commentated with me before on Project Cars and who has organised a lot of things on AOR on Project Cars, and that is Stevie SQ.
Hello ladies and gentlemen, lads of the internet, hope you're well. How are you, Fizzy?
I'm pretty decent, thank you for asking.
Good.
And I hope you are too. So, now that we've established that, let's point out a couple of things for this round. Obviously the main story, I guess, we have to mention is the fact that the man on the screen right now, Charv, who is leading the championship by 96 points. He could wrap it up here today. He needs a 72-point margin after this round to secure the championship, which basically means that unless he has a horrible race and Godfather Shift in second place in the championship has a great race, he will win the championship basically. So, barring a miracle, we should have a new champion here today, which is always fun. And Davey, what a track to potentially secure it on.
Absolutely. This is not quite the best circuit in the world, but it's one of.
It's not quite
It's where the best circuit is in the world. It's where it is. It's Silverstone. It's brilliantly fast. It's unbelievably fun to drive, but equally it will catch you out. And as you highlighted a little bit earlier, with it being night, this track does have a little bit of flood lighting, but there are some parts of the track where you've only got your own headlights to see where you're going, and all the other cars as well, so it could get a little bit difficult.
Yeah. Well, in Charles' case, he might not have all the other cars to see where he's going, because it's usually ahead of the field, and at the moment, so far in the qualifying session, he is indeed on provisional pole by 0.8 of a second. As if he hadn't dominated the season enough already, he is now absolutely putting in a stonker of a lap in this session at the moment, 156.6. here in the night. And D. Keller, though, the best of the rest at the moment. And looking at that, actually, it's very close between 2nd and 5th. Keller holding 2nd at the moment with a 1:57.4, but only 13 thousandths ahead of Hideaki in the BMW Z4 in 3rd right now, and only a further 10th down to F-Mate and also Godfather Shift, who are looking quite strong. After that, we have Ratrug in the Audi, Sula, Biltis, Jeff, and Claessens holding on to the top 10 at the moment. I'm going to just quickly see, we've got 17 cars, it looks like, in the session right now.
I was going to make a point in that the two closest championship rivals to Shaft is Godfather of Shift, who is 5th, and Nova, who I don't see on that list unless he's got a different name.
Nope, Nova. Nova race quit after round 5. So.
Right, okay.
Sorry to not put it less bluntly than that, but that's basically what happened.
Oh, I remember now. Moving on.
Moving on from that. So yeah, and obviously Godfather Shift as well. He had a poor outing last time out. Had a DNF after some technical issues. So that obviously put the championship even more in Shaft's favour.
As if it wasn't already in his favour.
Exactly. So,
he's not finished outside the top 2 all season. Wow.
It's quite crazy. It was obviously very close between him and Nova in the first 5 races. But after Nova was disqualified for qualifying at Spain or Catalonia, that kind of got thrown out the window. So, yeah, Chaff is looking very, very good indeed. I did notice, actually, yeah, Gronstra. I was going to point out, I did notice that Gronstra was having some connection issues seemingly earlier on in the session, but he seems to be back in at least for now. So we have 18 cars as it stands with 2.5 minutes to go in qualifying. Now it's just nice to see, by the way, I'm just going to point out the fact that Brownski is back in the Twitch chat, which is always good. The Season 1 champion, of course.
Hello, Brownski.
Hello to you, and yeah, good to see you back in chat. I know you have had to miss most of the races this season due to not being available at this time of night on Wednesdays. But yeah, good to see you back, and also a shout out to Pigeon Ninja, who I see is in the chat as well.
Hello.
Hello. Alright. Let's see if anyone's on a lap. Actually, Hideaki has improved. He was on a 0.5 earlier, I believe. Oh, actually on a 0.4 earlier, but he has now gone up past Keller into 2nd place as I'm watching him go very heavy on the curb out of cups, I think, as he's now heading into the Beckett section. Such a lovely set of corners to drive. The Z4 is weaving his way through the corners. Never mind, he retired to the bits. Just as I was going to say how fantastic that section of corners were.
Yeah, it's if you get it wrong there, you're going off a little bit. Which means a lot. There's a lot of runoff there, so you're probably not going to hit anything, but it'll make a mess of you if you get it all wrong.
Indeed. Watching Keller then. Now he got equally hard on that exit curve of Cops. I wonder if he will also abort his lap through Magnus Beckett now. At the moment, he seems to be carrying on, and he does break for Beckett, so he seems to be wanting to carry on this lap. Obviously, this will be his final attempt of the session, considering it's less than a minute to go now. So anyone who hasn't got the second, haven't started the second half of the lap at the moment, will not be able to complete it. So we will follow Keller around.
F-Mate is just behind Keller as well, and they're both on a lap.
Okay, interesting. Or is F-Mate ahead? I think F-Mate's right ahead, actually.
Replay's not helping me.
I'm gonna jump to F-Mate instead. Yeah, he's coming around the final couple of corners now. Ooh, a little bit sluggish on that curb, it looked like, but across the line he goes. Will he improve from P5? No, he will not. Will Keller improve from P3? No, he will not.
And Godfather Shift has bought whatever lap he was on as well, so he's in the garage. He's not improving on 4th. 8/10 off.
Slight anticlimax, but obviously, yeah, these guys clearly getting a good enough lap in early in the session. Do not have to worry too much more. So here we go then, the qualifying order for this round 8 at Silverstone. Chaff on pole as per usual, 5/10 ahead of Hideaki. And then Keller, Godfather Shift, F-Mate, Ratrug with a solid qualifying as well. Sula, Biltis, Jeff, and Rillo up into the top 10. Then we have Claessens, Ram, Gibbs, Ginger Ginetta, Andrex, Hetharion, Jamai, and Gronstra, who had the technical issues there at the back of the pack.
But at least he's here.
Yeah, that's the main thing.
You can overtake here. It is not. It's hard to keep people behind it. You can do it, and it works both ways. You can overtake, you can defend, but because of that, it can mean that people get split up into their own little groups.
Possibly even in the Z4, which isn't the best car in the straight. So Grosser definitely has work to do to move off from 18th place. But yeah, it's definitely a track where overtaking is more than possible. So actually, speaking of Gronstra, I have a little update from last week. Obviously, we had that whole situation with disqualification for corner cutting, blah blah, after Catalonia round 5. Unfortunately, another one has been applied, and that is from last week's race at. Where on earth were we last week? I can't even remember. Nürburgring, that's the one. Thank you very much. And yeah, so Gronstra, who finished second in that race, unfortunately was taken to the suit for excessive corner cutting and was disqualified, which obviously changed the results a bit. Suomi was moved up to second place, and I think it was...
Papand in third.
Yeah, the Keller, aka Papand, who did get that final podium position as a result of that.
Why can't people have the same name as they do on the form?
I don't know. Papan used to have Papan on the hair as well, but I
you
guess some kind of team guidelines, I don't know. But in any case, yeah, so Gronstra dropping quite a bit of points, and obviously everyone who finished third and below in last week will have gained some more points. So I'm going to bring up now the championship standings going into the final 3 races. There we go, you can see confirmation that Schaaf has indeed a 96-point lead there at the top, which means that he has pretty much the championship in the bag now, and thus everything goes absolutely wrong in the final 3 rounds. 96 points, which means Godfather Shifts needs to close him down by 25 actually here today to avoid it, just to avoid him winning the championship today.
Because Schaaf's already got the pole position point, so he's actually 97.
Ooh, yeah, wow, okay, so he needs to close it by 26 then. Good luck with that. Oh, I had a bit of a crash there on my screen. Didn't see anything though, so that's fine. I'm going to carry on. Godfather Shift though, not really under pressure from Nova, considering he's not racing anymore. But Z Keller is not too far off there. 16 points between those two. And then Hideaki and Jeff for 5th, only separated by 1 point as well. 10 further down to Suomi. Is Suomi here today actually? He doesn't seem to be here today, so that's unfortunate. Suomi might have had some more sickness problems. He's had a tendency of missing races due to being sick, but if that's the case, then I wish him well, I guess.
But you can wish him well regardless of whether he's sick or not.
Well,
you don't have to just reserve it for the ill.
That's a fair point. Cool battle though behind Suomi as well. Claessen's in 8th, F-Made 9th, Built is 10th, Brandrus 11th, only separated about 4 points, so a lot of changing around, a lot of fight for those guys in the championship still. Team championship, Jack Buster still at the top. Charvin's team, he has, well, I wouldn't say actually that he's carried the team, because Keller also has a very solid amount of points on the board, so those two kind of dominating that was as well. And then we have the Padfathers of Godfather Shift and Hideaki, who have had both very consistently solid seasons apart from occasional technical issues, to sit there in second place. Dig Bix, Dig Bix, oh, yes, God. I did say it right, to my surprise. They are no longer functional because Nova are no longer racing. Sula has changed teams to Tig Old Bitties instead.
Oh my God.
He's teamed up with F-Mate, who also lost his teammate earlier on. So they are down in 11th, and I guess they will be trying to get up as much as possible after only doing 4 rounds. Well, they will only be doing 4 rounds, considering they formed last week. And any interesting battles? Talk Titanics and Veterans, 4th and 5th, 5 points there. Anzo racing in slow and slower, 4 points there. Yeah, still a few battles going on around the standings.
I'm so glad I didn't read the team championship, because I'd have got that so wrong.
Yes,
I'd have read it wrong and pronounced it in the way, you know.
I know. The way that I somehow still haven't done this season.
That's because you're a professional.
Well, occasionally I try to be, but in any case, we should have a race starting soon. Which is always good, I assume that's what people are watching for. Shout out quickly to Matt Schimmelms and also to ConF1XS for the follows on my Twitch channel. Thank you very much.
Thanks for following him. We got a race on.
Oh, here we go. Yes,
Oh, we've got a
race time. GT3 cars on the track.
Stars on that roof.
Lovely
On
stars.
the roof of the roof.
And here we go. The lights are out, and away we don't go for the Silverstone Grand Prix or something. I don't know. Let's retire to the box and get ready for the formation lap here. So Stevie, usually Yorkie takes us through the formation lap procedure. Question is, do you remember it?
So what's going to happen is they're all going to go around in grid order, and they're going to go around at set pace.
Yeah.
And towards the end of the lap, they're going to slow it down or stop, not sure which, and get onto the correct side of the grid relative to what they've been told in the race thread. And then there'll be a preset acceleration, a formation zone. There's a formation zone that they form up. And then there's an acceleration zone where the leader can go at any point from that set point start to the start line. If he doesn't go by the start line, everyone can overtake him. Is that right? Sounds right. Is it right?
Pretty much right, I think.
No,
I'm almost confused myself, but yeah, I think that's good. I think that's very right, very well said, actually, and actually quicker than what Yorkie usually does. So
that's because I was doing this thing called panicking.
yeah, well, tends to help in these situations, I suppose. So the drivers are halfway around this formation lap here in the lovely under the lovely night sky, not inside it actually. Not sure how that would have looked, but you can see the drivers starting to weave around a bit, trying to get some heat. Obviously cooler on the track than if it was a daytime race. So maybe a little bit more tire warming necessary. I obviously haven't driven these cars for a while, so I can't fully remember how much how much the tires are affected by this this weaving here. But
If anything else, it's a bit of a psychological boost.
yeah.
Just to prep yourself up, get yourself in the mood. Here we go. Unless you spin, then you just go the opposite way and you feel like an idiot.
Yeah, and even if the tires don't actually gain too much heat, mentally you think they do, so it's fine.
Yes. So I assume the formation point is somewhere soon.
Yeah, I think it should be on this straight actually, at the end of it, or after Stowe potentially. Yeah, I think it might be after Stowe actually. Yeah, I think it's after Stowe, just before the pit.
Who am I going to pick? I'm going to go on board with Branderus near the back.
Listening.
See
got a
what
side-by-side here.
His.
Who's Stowe on the place? There we go, we can see the field come through now. 18 cars still in the lobby. Actually, 19 cars. Wait. 19? Where did the 19th car come from?
Great question.
Okay, I have no idea who we've just gained between qualifying and now, but I guess it was Branderus then, because it's at the back. But in any case, Charf then will be starting here from the front, and it's up to everyone else to react to when he puts his feet down, or
both of them on the one pedal.
Yeah, and here we go. Both of the feet are down for Charf as he leads the field away into the first corner here at Silverstone. A clean start for him, but Hideaki been challenged already by D. Keller there, Charf's teammate, in third place, but Hideaki does well to hold on through the first couple of corners. Keller defending now actually instead from Godfather of Shift, Charf's closest championship rival, and he will have the inside line through the arena section now on Keller, but Keller in that roof carrying a nice amount of momentum around the outside, and there we go. The top four at least are still in the same order they started, and F-mate as well. And there's side by side though between Rattrag, who has dropped from P6 to P7 so far, and he was just defending there from Sula. And Stevie, I don't know if you've seen anything occurring there at the back.
Gibbs had a bit of a spin through turn one, and oh my god, Gronster just tried a 3-in-1 lunge at Brooklands and got it very wrong. As a Hetheron's going for the biggest. No, wait, no, that must be a bit light. Yeah, Gibbs, I don't know whether Gibbs just dropped it or whether he got a little tap, but he went for a little spin, but he's okay, he's still recovering. Gronster had made up a few positions until he blew it at Brooklands. But so far, so good. All nice and safe and all playing friendly.
Yeah, so a shame for Gibbs though. He has had quite a bit of problems this season, yet to finish a race. So hopefully this can be the one, although he hasn't gotten up to the best start, and Gronster as well. Those two are at the back. I'm seeing quite a bit of side-by-sides there. Athar on the Bentley, yeah. Ooh, on the inside, and who is that? Danger Janetta swooping around the outside. Very nice move, actually, into Maggots there.
Oh, well, I'm afraid to say that was recovering the position because he ran very wide at Cops.
I correct myself. Very nice defending there from Danger Janetta through Maggots. As there's side-by-side behind, it looks like, yeah, for 17th, actually. Jamai, actually for 16th, Brandreth taking that position from Jamai after starting from last. So I'm going to jump back up to the front to make sure we don't miss anything. It's always amazing battling going on towards the back of the pack, but just to make sure the top 5 are still in the same order, although actually battle for P4, F-Mate getting a very good run out of the final corner there on Godfather of Shift. The man
yeah, they were scrapping into Vale as well, and Godfather of Shift had to defend that one.
Okay, and here we go. Ooh, not defending on this corner though. F-Mate had a little look, but decided against it in the end, and actually behind, Rattrick has regained the position he started in 6th, ahead of Sula, and Biltis in 8th, Jeff in 9th, Claessen's 10th, and that's Andrex side by side with someone I believe. No, it is not. Who am I actually watching here? I'm not quite sure who I was watching side by side.
I was going to say, well, there was Gibbs and Jam side by side through the exit of the arena onto the Wellington Straight, and Jam's defending thin air for that point because there was no way Gibbs was going to make that move.
Yeah. And actually, back up to 5th we go. F-Mate still really pressuring Godfather of Shift, as Z4 not having a good time on the straight by the looks of it, but managing just about to stay ahead into Cops. Getting a little bit on the curve there, though, for Godfather of Shift. Might give F-Mate a nice run as well into Maggots, but obviously tricky corner to overtake into, considering there's barely any braking going on there. So for now, Godfather of Shift staying ahead, and the Z4, in theory, should be good in these high-speed corners.
Not there, because he was very wide through Beckett's, whereas Godfather of Shift is going to put F-Mate right on him. He's going to the outside to try and make this move. It's a long way around it, Stowe. You've got to really have a lot more grip than the car ahead. And he's gone defence. He balls it up completely and let F-Mate straight through. Oh, Godfather of Shift, you didn't quite get that right.
That was very close, that's for sure. F-Mate, though, up into 4th. Rattrick running deep behind. He's dropped a position to Sula. Oh, he's going very slow. Has he gotten a cut track or something, or is he just recovering there on the very awkward line? I think he was just recovering, actually, but he's dropped 2 positions. Built is also getting through, and Rattrick on the back foot potentially from maybe being pressured from Jeff in the Mercedes just behind him. But he's fine for now. Jeff, though, under pressure from Claessen's, actually. Aston Martin versus Mercedes SLS. Jeff feeling the need to go defensive a little bit into the arena section. And he will again get a nice tight line through the next corner. Claessen's will, of course, be trying to use a wider line to get a better exit through this kink now and onto the Wellington straight. Will he get any sort of slipstream effect? Jeff obviously getting a bit of slipstream from the Audi ahead as well. Claessen's having a look towards the inside, and he goes for the dive, and Jeff quite lenient there on him, not turning in too much, giving him a nice amount of room, and Claessen's up into P9. That shows that sometimes you just have to go for it, and this time it did work out.
Yeah, you've got to take your opportunities when they're presented to you. It's starting to look like the BMW Z4s are struggling a bit for straight line speed. Because I mean, F-Mate when he passed Godfather of Shift, I think that was more a question of when, if not if, and Decaler is starting to close in on Hideaki as well. Whereas C-Sharp is starting to pull away.
Yep, and they're side by side into Maggots now. Dangerous Janetta, is he? No, he didn't get the position. There was Andrex swooping into the front of him. They're defending P12 in that Mercedes AMG. Andrex, who of course was sort of the star of last week's race at Nürburgring when he was defending from Brandreth basically for the whole second half of the race and didn't get past. Now again he has got quite a train behind him, and he will be trying to put all his defensive skills to the test once again, as Dangerous Janetta tries to find a way through now, defending into the chicane actually. Andrex, Janetta braking later on the outside line. Oh, and he's gotten a nice run actually on the inside for the second part. And there we go, Andrex has been passed. And now it's the man who couldn't pass him last time in the Nürburgring. Brandreth right behind him again in that Aston Martin. He has got a run into the first corner, but it's a tricky corner because it's a very high speed. And there we go, Brandreth not deciding to make that one side by side. That could have ended badly. And behind as well, it's very close.
Yeah, Gronstra just pulled off a very sneaky move on Hithara and ran a little bit wide through turn 1. And Gronstra just snips through the smallest little gap. This is a 5-car fight for 11th place, and they're all completely different cars.
Yeah, it's a nice variety of cars on the grid, and here we go. Gronstra getting a good run actually in the Z4 behind Brandreth, but Brandreth's gone very defensive in the Aston Martin. Might actually make that into an attack though on Andrex, who runs very wide. A slight bit of door banging between the two of them. There's 3 wide pretty much into left field. Hetaria now in the Bentley getting in the action as well, and he's getting 2 positions. Super opportunistic, but it might actually make that 1 because Gronstra swooping underneath him on the exit. Fantastic racing here. Only a tiny bit of contact, and Gronstra is up into 14th. Hetaria now under pressure from Brandreth, who has dropped 2 positions through all that. Man, that was quite something. And now Hetharion as well in that Bentley, trying to take advantage of the battle ahead, because Gronstra and Andrex were side by side, but not anymore. Single file through this section, and Stevie, oh my word, what can we say about this?
That was an amazing piece of driving with Gronstra. His brain was completely switched on there. He just let it all unfold in front of him. He didn't panic, didn't get involved. He just sat there and was like, look, you do what you want, I'm just going to come through. And he's not finished. He's now looking at Andrex.
Yeah. Oh, but Hetharion looking at Gronstra. We just can't be sure who's looking at who here at the moment, because 1 second, one car is attacking, and the next second he's getting attacked. And Hetharion now to the inside. Brandreth's gone very deep there on the brakes, losing a lot of time. But the 3 cars in front will remain in the positions that went into the corner in. Brandreth, though, did he lose? Yeah, he did lose a position to Jamai, actually. And again to Rillo. Shame for Rillo, actually, down in 17th. He started the race in 10th, had a very solid qualifying. But something must have gone wrong there. And Gibbs, he is not too far behind, but obviously not quite in touching distance at the moment. Stevie, if you can keep an eye on that battle still, I'm just going to go up towards the front again and see what is going on. Unsurprisingly, the race leader Charf is starting to pull away. We've seen that quite a few times this season already.
Gronstra going to have a go on Andrex here.
We are going to go jump back to that straight away.
Andrex was flashing his lights a little, maybe trying to say, I'm not trying to fight you. Gronstra didn't really go for the lunge into Brooklyn, so I don't know whether he just wasn't confident or what, but he didn't go for it. Unless, here's a theory, maybe Gronstra just sitting thinking, I've not got the straight line speed to pull away if I get in front anyway, so.
Yeah. I think knowing Gronstra from these league races in the past, I think he just wants as many positions as he can and as quickly as he can. But yeah, it's not easy in that set forward to get a good run on the straight. You really got to get a good exit out of a corner like this one, and it's going to be 3 wide into Maggots as Hetharion in the Bentley's trying to get into the action. Oh! And Andrex swoops ahead, and man, it's still the same order somehow. Basically the current inside, 1 out.
That was brave. Oh, Gronstra got a much better run out of Beckett's than Andrex has. He's already alongside as they're going down the hangar straight. He's going to have the inside for Stowe, which is arguably the preferred spot. But now Andrex is good at defending. We'll see if he can hold it around the outside. And Gronstra squeezing it in. Oh! He's ahead. That's exactly what you need to do. So keep going. You'll be all right. They're side by side now, coming down in towards Vale.
Yes.
Yep, they're good. And Gronstra's trying to go around the outside again.
Oh, he might pull this up.
Done it.
Yeah, he's done exactly what Dangerous Junetta did a few laps ago. And you can just see how much Dangerous Junetta has pulled away from this battle through all of that craziness unfolding behind. It seems like Andrex is potentially struggling a little bit with this pace as well, but obviously all this battling has really slowed all these guys down. And now Gronstra, who didn't get a proper timing in qualifying, started from 18th. He will now try to put his usually solid pace to work here to try and close the gap to the cars ahead. And I'm just going to...
Just a little update on the front lot.
Yep.
The second, third and fourth of Hideaki, Dikala and F-Mate have all closed up quite considerably. Either Hideaki struggling a little bit for speed, or the other two have just reeled him in naturally. They're right with him now. They've dropped Godfather of Shift a little. C-Shaft's in his own little race at the front.
Yeah. It was, yeah, very close between Hideaki and Keller on the previous lap, both on a 58.8, but F-Mate last time out was 0.5 of a second quicker, so actually the car in 4th at the moment might be the fastest, based at least on that. which is always good because then that means we might get to see some attacks coming in quite soon as F-Mate tries to get close to Keller. Both of these guys in the roof, of course. And they got the Z4 of Hideaki just ahead. F-Mate.
No.
Oh.
Dangerous Unit has had a bit of an off somewhere. It looks like he's dropped it through Maggot because he's just rejoining now at Chapel. I'll tell you, I suggest he's got a massive slowdown as well. I just caught him. I was just scrolling through the film, just caught him at rejoining at a wonky angle.
Ah, that's good detective work there, CV. F-Mate was having a slight look actually on Keller through the final chicane on the previous lap, but Keller was having none of it, and F-Mate will probably have to play the patient game here a little bit. It's a long race, 32 laps still remaining. He probably knows that Charv up ahead will be uncatchable unless something crazy happens, and so he can see third and second place right there. If he feels he has the pace, he just has to play it, try to play it safe, try to be patient, try to put the pressure on and wait for an opportunity really, because he has 32 laps to catch and pass 2 cars, and getting very close to Keller through Brooklands there, and out through Luffield. Will he get a good enough exit out of here to have a run into Cups potentially? It doesn't quite look like he will be close enough into the high-speed right-hander. So I'm going to quickly jump down. Godfather Shift is only a second or two behind that lot. It's not out of it yet, I would say, considering his form throughout this season. And Sula as well, F-Mate's new teammate, trying to claw his way towards the top 5 as well. Ratchan kind of by himself a little bit in 7th place. And then we have Claessens as well, with Biltis a second or so behind him. Jeff as well, a further second down in the Mercedes SLS, and then Ram in a solid 11th at the moment. Ronstra up to 12th, obviously, because of Dangerous Geneta's problem. And then we have Andrex now defending 13th from Etharion. Still, actually, I'm going to stay onto this because that looked quite close as Etharion nearly made it to one of the maggots again, but not quite. But actually, that Bentley looks pretty cool in the night with that neon green at the front.
Yeah. That was the last car, GT3 car I competed with, and it's amazing.
Is it? Yeah.
But personal preference, of course, but you know.
Yeah. I can't say I've actually personally driven it myself, but it's certainly an interesting one. It's quite
all
massive.
All you need to know is it's got the best sounding engine and it's got a green neon in the grille. What more do you want? And it's a Bentley!
And it seems to be well. It was very competitive in the season 5, I think it was, when we had Kaki driving it, and he obviously won the championship. I can't remember if it was the season he drove that he won the championship, but he definitely drove that in one season and did well. So I'm going to jump actually back up to the battle for third, because I see that F-Mate is still getting very close to Keller through Brooklands, and even closer than last lap through Luffield now. Slightly tighter on the exit, just trying to get it turned in to get this throttle down as soon as possible. As actually, what was that behind? Godfather Shift nearly losing into the wrong pit lane there. And yeah, he's dropped a lot of speed, but we're going to go back to F-Mate challenging for P3. Keller was having none of it into Cups, and I think he will have it covered into Maggots as well. Really what F-Mate needs to do here to try and get a good run out of Brooklands onto the Hanger Straight. And then he might have a good opportunity. This is the longest straight on the circuit, of course, that they will be entering right now. But it looked like Keller was able to gain a car length or so through those high-speed corners. So he's going to definitely make it harder for F-Mates. And also considering Keller is on a form of 3 straight third places in the last 3 races. So I would say that, well, I would say he's motivated to make it a second instead, but if anything, he definitely wants to get another third if he can't do any better.
Absolutely. He went a little defensive, and he looks like he's coming under a bit of attack right now through the final couple of corners. Oh, F-Mate's going for it. He's backed out of it, it looks like. Keller had to go a little wide through the final corner to hold that, but I think he was going to lose that one. Keller was... F-Mate was going to have to back out that anyway.
Yeah.
The thing with this track is because it's so not different, but just the way it goes, it is hard to overtake something of the same type. If you've got, if you're stuck behind your teammate or you're stuck behind a similar car, it is quite hard because they can do exactly what you do. This is a good track for capitalising on someone else's weaknesses, but This is more driver v driver as opposed to anything else.
Yeah.
But it definitely looks like F-Mate has got more pace than Keller.
Yeah, it does. Keller taking a much wider line actually into Brooklands there, but they're still basically at the same distance they were going into it. So I guess that's just personal preference as well.
Whatever brings the lap time.
Exactly. And update from Brownski in the chat, correcting me there that, or just pointing out really, that Kaki drove the Bentley in Season 4 when he didn't win the championship, but he still obviously was fighting towards the front. He won with a McLaren in Season 5, so that's good to know.
So, reverting back to this battle for 13th, Andrex and Tharian are still going at it, and Branderus has now joined in the fight as well.
Ooh.
It's a scrapping hard through Luffield now. Still in the initial order, but it looks like Andrex is coming under even more attack now. Starting to be the cork in the bottle here.
Bottle in the cork, Tharian coming up the inside potentially of Kopp actually, and Andrex is forced to leave him room, and there we go, Tharian making the move and putting Andrex off his line a little bit as well, which might open the door for Brandress, although he will have the outside line now into Maggots. It's gonna be hard, and there we go, Andrex again, like he's done so many times so far into that corner. When he's side by side, if he has the inside line, then he will stay ahead. But yeah, it's going to be hard for him, I think, to get back ahead of that Bentley, which is a car that usually is very strong on the straight line as well. Although the Mercedes, well, the Mercedes MG, I feel like the SLS is the Mercedes, the better Mercedes in terms of straight line speed. As Brandress now going for the dive actually through Stowe. Andrex taking a wider line, should have a better exit in theory. Oh, and that was a car off the track, was it? I think I saw a BMW Z4.
I saw a car, but I can't find who it is.
It might have been Gronstra.
Oh yeah, Gronstra's in the pits. He looks like he's out.
Oh dear, Gronstra having even more problems. He had several spins last week as well. But Andrex actually, yeah, dropping that position. I mean, he was in 14th at the start of the battle, and he dropped the position to Brandress, but he's still 14th because of Gronstra retiring from the race. But yeah, Andrex now, for the first time in the race, has no cars to defend from, and if he wants to get higher up the field, he will have to make some move himself. And now maybe Brandress will try to put a challenge on Tharian, as unfortunately I see that F-Mate has now passed Keller for third, so that's a shame that we didn't catch that one. So,
But they must have fought a bit quite hard because Hideaki's got a bit of a gap on them.
Yeah. So I guess we have to.
Oh god, F-Mate had a massive wobble through Maggots. So that'll have caught his attention.
If he wasn't awake enough already, then now he will be.
It's night time.
So, well, I guess we'll have to leave it to our imagination as to how F-Mate did make that move for P3 there. So,
Round outside at Beckett's.
Give your suggestions in the chat.
The best one was how he did it.
Yeah. Get your most creative overtaking solutions for Silverstone in the chat. But let's have a look at the timing sheet, see where are the cars close. Obviously, Tharian and Andrex. And Brandress is behind again. What?
Yeah, he ended up right behind, though he's not going to be behind for long by the looks of it. It looks like he's going to have a run into Stowe right now. Andrex on the outside again. Andrex likes the outside line at Stowe. I mean, it sets you up a treat because you get a better run out. But whether he can get back past Brandress now is another question. It doesn't look like he's going to even try it at the minute.
No.
Although Brandress was running a little wide there. All good there.
He's worked the outside line for Stowe well before, but it didn't quite work out this time. But however, these guys have all gained a position again. I'm gonna jump back down. Gibbs up to 16th. Ginetta down to 17th. Gronstra 18th. So there's another car out of the race. Because we were 19 at the start.
Let me. You keep looking. I'll check.
Yeah.
Claessens has left the session.
Oh, that's unfortunate. That is quite unfortunate. I think Claessens was running in definitely in the top 10. I'm not going to be too much more specific than that because I can't quite remember. But yeah, somewhere between 6th and 10th. I'm quite sure it was. But yeah, that's a shame then for Claessens. Whatever happens in potentially some technical issues, because obviously he was quite lonely last time I looked at him. In any case, whatever the cause was, that is a shame.
Have a little look back now, Jeff, and Ramdrop are starting to get a little close on track now. Might be one developing as last lap. Oh no, actually Jeff was 2/10 slower than Ramdrop last lap, so maybe Ramdrop's getting into the rhythm of things now, starting to move forward.
Yeah, Ramdrop into the top 10 then actually. He obviously started this season in the Pro League, the second year of GT3, and didn't make the move when offered. Or I think it was last week he made his debut actually. Let me quickly
Yes.
double check. Yep, you are
Finished
indeed correct. Finished 13th, so he's looking on course for his first top 10 at least at the moment in the Elite division. Didn't make that 9th though. He's able to challenge Jeff here. Let's have a look at the lap times as they come across the line again. 0.9 for Jeff to 0.5 for Ramdrop. So yeah, again he's gained another 4 tenths, which is good, as we want to see battling.
I do like it when drivers from a lower tier accept the opportunity to move up, because they're usually going from a place where they're winning to a place where they're probably not going to be unless they really put the work in. And it's nice when they come in and actually just get on with it and don't complain that they've lost competitiveness, so to speak, but they're against more competitive people.
Yeah, definitely true. And we did need a few more drivers in this league obviously as well, because some drivers didn't quite make it to the end as well. So it's always good to see the grid getting bigger. It's always good to see drivers taking the challenge.
Branderus and Hatharion. This flick back and Branderus was making a hell of a lunge into Brooklands on Hatharion. Hatharion's held it off in the Bentley, but I was scared and I'm not even in the car. It was from so far back.
Damn. No,
there was no contact, which is all that matters.
Oh, he's gaining a lot as well into Cops. Will that Bentley be able to carry the speed? He was a little bit off the apex there, but he seemed to be able to carry a decent amount of speed through there. Now into Maggot's Beckett's. Not quite sure which of these cars have the advantage through these high-speed corners. Aston Martin, in my experience, is relatively unstable unless you set it up really well. Brandis, though, seemingly controlling it quite nicely, but the Bentley getting a couple of car lengths on him onto the straight. Brandis will have, though, a bit of a slipstream affected. Obviously, and Bentley is absolutely massive as well, so that might give slightly more slipstream than maybe some other cars would give. But yeah, not quite close enough on this occasion into Stowe. And, well, if they're not feeling the need to go too defensive into the chicane, go slightly deep on the brakes though. Might give Brandis a chance on the exit, but he has to keep it tight on the kink. Just avoid the curb there, which really could unsettle the car. At the moment, Brandis will still have to play the patient game, and like at Nürburgring, it's not quite Andrex in front of it anymore, but he still has to make an overtake, which is proving to be quite challenging at the moment.
So do you know what's surprising me right now?
Not exactly.
The fact that F-Mate, when he was behind D-Keller, looked so much faster, and now he's got past him, he's not pulling away. D-Keller's just sat behind him and going, alright, I can do what you can do. Just you take us up to Hiriaki and I'll get you back. D-Keller is sat right behind him.
The most entertaining tactic, but it could be a smart tactic. There, let's have a look. Previous lap times, they're not really catching though. Keller was actually the fastest out of these. 2 tenths quicker than F-Mate, 1 tenth quicker than Hideaki. Just very similar pace between second, third, and fourth at the moment. Stay on both of them. Can you just jump down to Brandris and make sure nothing happens while I wait until these guys come across the line? So
it's happening! It's happening!
Oh dear lord!
Third from wide at Cops, and Brandris is through.
God's sake. Well, at least you gave a solid description there, and I don't think it was too much more to really see. Obviously, they're just running off the track, and there we go. Brandris easy move in the end, actually.
Yeah, Hatharion just got a bit of a slide through Cops, and then he was wrestling it off the track, and it just cost him all his speed. And Brandris was like, "Thank you, goodbye."
Oh, and we just lost Gibbs as per usual.
No.
From the session. I just saw Dangerous Jeanette gain a position, and at the same time Gibbs has disappeared from the scoreboard. So third car to bite the dust here. Brown seals up. and that is Gibbs, who still hasn't finished the race season. He will have 2 more opportunities, which will be at the lovely circuit of Watkins Glen, and also the less lovely circuit at Dubai, in my opinion. Some people like it.
I don't like it.
No. Well, I've driven it once in this league, which was season 3, and I was horrendous. So that's probably the reason I don't like it.
Same. I was 2 seconds off my teammate, and we'd been pretty evenly matched at that point.
I felt like I was 2 seconds off everyone, so although I probably weren't quite that, but yeah, just felt like it. In any case, previous lap for these guys, and yeah.
Oh no, Hideaki's off! Hideaki's off!
Oh god.
He dropped it at.
Oh god!
Where's Maggots? Yeah, Maggots and Beckett's.
Oh, I see. He dropped it that far off the track.
He's full on guffed it.
Did you see if he made contact with the wall there?
I think he did.
Oh there. Oh
But
there.
that has cost him big time.
That is not good for Hideaki, obviously. He went in the season with the goal of at least getting 1 podium this season. He did achieve that at round 3, but since then, it's not quite gone to plan. He's had a couple of 4th place finishes, but also a couple of DNFs.
As well.
And yeah, there we go. He's heading towards the pit lane. We are not too far off the halfway point of the race, actually. I'm not quite sure if we'll see a 0 stopper or a 1 stopper in this race. Usually this season, I mean, it's a track that in theory should be relatively high on tyre wear, because a lot of high-speed corners.
Yeah, and there's a lot of fast right-hand corners.
Yeah. The left-hand tyres should be getting quite a bit of load.
Right-hand corner, left-hand tyres.
Yeah, exactly. But yeah, be interesting to see. Well, Hideaki will certainly be hoping that the rest of the field will also be making a stop for tyres in a few laps here, because he has been forced into this stop as a result of the damage. Luckily for him, though, if it is a 1-stop race, then it only really is the time loss on that lap, because the damage repairs in the pits doesn't really add anything onto the pit lane time when you change the tyres. So Hideaki is out again in 10th position, and should at least be still on course for some solid points, but obviously it's a shame for him to have thrown away what looked like a comfortable 2nd place. Well, not quite super comfortable, but at the moment he spun it, he was relatively comfortable.
Yes, he was. He sort of got the roughs covered of DK and F mate. They were kind of there, but not enough to be making him go defensive or have to panic too much looking in his mirror. But now he's got a ram drop in front of him, and then he's got many times 8 or 9 cars in front of him to go.
Yeah. If anything, maybe we'll see if Hideaki make his way through some cars. Well, hopefully not directly through them, but you know, around them. I'm actually seeing that Atarian is close up again, actually, a little bit to Brandress after going wide there a couple of laps ago. Will he stay on track this time at Cups? Yes, just about. Clunking the curb a little bit, and that does seem a little bit violent when the curb just throws the left-hand side of the car up into the air, but don't think it feels quite like that in the cockpit, I would imagine.
I bet it does.
Well, you never know.
So Hideaki is already on the back of Ramdrop. This is the thing now. If he's already stopped for tyres, he can absolutely go for it. If everyone's 0 stopping and tyre wear is a bit of a thing, then maybe they're going to slow down towards the end of the race. He's not out of it yet. And considering his pace, he can certainly make up a few places.
Yeah. And here we go. Will he just go for it straight away? No, he will not go for anything too audacious, despite the tyre wear advantage at the moment. Ram should get a worse run through the final corner, though. Hideaki might have a run into the first corner. It's going to be a tough one to be side by side. And the Z4 isn't quite going to be close. Oh my word, that was nearly contact, unless that was a bit of lag. But it looked like a little bit of contact, actually. Hideaki's car making some weird movements into the first corner. Now going for the dive into the arena on Ramdrop, who will leave him the room. Will try to stay on the inside for the next corner. Hideaki now forced to leave him room on the inside line. And who will get the best traction through the king, still side by side actually. Ram defending really well at the moment. Hideaki with a slight bit of more momentum through there, but the Audi should potentially have better straight line speed. Half the car still alongside for Ram, but there we go. Hideaki swoops around the outside to secure that move. He had to work hard for his CV, maybe even harder than we would have thought given the fresh tyres, but he did get it done in the end.
Yeah, ultimately that Audi's got a whacking great big V10 in. I used it in season 1 and described it as an atom bomb in the back. And if the BMW is struggling on straight line speed, that's not going to be an easy pass.
It's not at all. Quickly gonna go to the chat. I can see that Brownski is still happily chatting away, giving some updates.
As long as Brownski's happy.
Yep. And
All is well.
that's the main thing, obviously. Fushs. God, that's a tricky one with all the S and C sounds there. But he's in the chat and pointing out that Stevie's commentating. Yes, it is Stevie.
Hello.
And he's sending some love from France to you there.
I'll send love.
Oh, it's
back
Def.
to France. Hi, Def.
Okay.
Oh, I love Def. Def's like the new me, but better.
Ah, well.
If you like what you're seeing, if you like GT3, blame Def and all the other coordinators.
Yeah, Def has.
But Def's like the main man.
Def has done a great job to organise season 7.
Def, start planning season 8. Only got 2 weeks.
It'd be nice actually to get a proper release date of Project Cars 2 so that we could fully plan around that. I assume.
Yeah, you're telling me.
I assume in theory it should be time for another season before. Then it's obviously late 2017 scheduled release, but you know, it obviously depends a bit on interest and stuff. If people maybe want to do something a little bit different, obviously between season 6 and 7 we were running a couple of different leagues. We had the BMW stuff on PC, we had the IndyCar stuff on the consoles. So yeah, it really depends on what people want to do. If they feel like jumping straight into the GT3s again, or if they might want a little bit of a break.
Yeah, the plan was, I think, this was supposed to be the last GT3 season, and then we're going to do some shorter, different seasons just until Project Cars 2 came out. But as we don't know, we don't know what to do, so yeah, wait and see.
That's the only way you can play this, really, as Keller was running a little bit deep through Stowe. But yeah, we started off here, Stevie, back to the race with 39 laps, 22 remaining, which means in a lap or two, we should be getting an answer as to whether there will be pit stops.
As Godfather of Shift is in the pit lane.
Oh, or maybe we'll get an answer right away. So yeah, we haven't seen Godfather of Shift make any contact with anything, so that must be then a scheduled pit stop from him. Hideaki's teammate, of course. Be interested to see where they come out in relation to each other. Obviously, Hideaki had a big gap on Godfather Shift when he was running in second, but he had a big spin, which I think let Godfather Shift through before Hideaki got into pits. Yeah.
I don't think the gap was actually that big. It was probably no more than, say, 10, 12 seconds. Because Godfather Shift wasn't that far behind. He wasn't with them, with the Keller and F-Mate, but he wasn't too far off them.
Yeah.
And equally, Hideaki wasn't too far up the road, so they probably weren't too far ahead. He'll definitely come out ahead just because of Hideaki's crash.
Yeah,
Godfather has already rejoined, and Hideaki is only just turning into turn 1 now.
That's about, 10 seconds maybe between those two at the moment. Yeah. So yeah, Hideaki definitely lost a lot of time with that off-track excursion.
But Godfather has come out in clear air, which is good for him. He'll be happy with that.
It's true.
Assuming everyone else will pit.
Yeah, probably. So we will at least have no trouble then to try and push on these fresh tires. So running very deep there, but it might have been planned because he nearly at least cut it back onto the apex through Brooklands. Yeah, Godfather Shift trying to get an undercut there maybe on Mates and Keller. So interested to see actually now if these guys will respond after the next corner.
Just in case you scroll forward and get excited, Schaff just lapped Dangerous Gianetta.
Oh dear. Well, at least it took him half a race to lap the last car on the track, so it could have been worse.
It was more I didn't want you to scroll forward and go, oh no!
And there we go. That is Keller into the pit lane. Very high speed into there, and he's made contact with the wall. He's gone way too fast into the pit lane.
Yeah, you do have to slow down before you get to the line, because the game will slow you down. But
although it might not cost him actually, because that damage will get repaired straight away. So
it would cost him if he lost a wheel. Yeah,
that would. Oh yeah, well, assuming the AI then wouldn't just still drive down the pit lane with 3 wheels. I mean, you never know.
True. Sula's also in the pit lane, as is Ratrug and Biddletis. That threw me because of the thing. Jeff's in the pit lane as well.
S.
Yeah, but that's not.
And Jeff, is this in a deliberate tactic?
A handbrake turn into the wall.
That's definitely interesting way to enter the pits.
Godfather of Shift has come out similar sort of pace to what he was. Gap, sorry, to what he was to Keller.
Yeah. About
So
3,
it'd be
4,
interesting
5
to see
seconds.
if F-Mate and Shaft respond to this. Because that suggests to me, if that many cars are pitting, that tyre wear is quite a problem.
Yep. It will be the case. Who is that car ahead of it? Yeah, that's Soul, actually.
It's Hatharion coming out the pit lane. Ratrod coming out the pit lane behind Hatharion. Hatharion hasn't pitted, though, so if this is the 0v1 stop,
Yeah. Oh.
Hatharian's not stopping. He's got lots of laps to go.
He's already nearly lost it there. Yeah, I think he's struggling a little bit at the moment, is Hatharion, and this could be an overtake, actually. Ratrod on the fresh tires in the Audi, getting a run up the inside into Brooklands, and Hatharion probably not going to fight this too hard, considering the tire difference there, and there we go. Nearly running into him on the exit, actually, which is interesting. Having to take a wide entry to not run into the back of the Audi there through Luffield, but now I think Ratrod should have the pace.
Okay. So, response from both the leader and the second car, and F-Mate also doing the handbrake turn into the pit lane. I'm starting to think they're meaning to do this.
Yes.
Shaft's in as well, so we do not have, well, the lead. He's actually been overtaken! F-Mate with the amazing pass down the pit lane!
For God's sake. I nearly got decided there.
Oh, and Shaft's going to get him straight back! Unbelievable scene!
What a move! Fantastic racing here in the pit lane. Very tense stuff as F-Mate is still in P2. Where is Keller? These guys were obviously very close, and Keller will have had 1 lap worth of an undercut here. He's coming across the line now to start the lap. Mate is coming up the hill between the walls, back out on track, and he is behind. So Keller is back in front of F-Mate. They were the other way around before. Keller did get past earlier in the race, the one we didn't see. But now F-Mate will have to do it all over again if he wants second place.
Just finishing off the pit stops. Ramdrop has also come in. Branderest is coming as well. So it looks like everybody's pitting.
Yeah.
Maybe Dangerous Gianetta hasn't, just for the sake of trying to get some time back. Not sure. I've not seen Jam in, nor have I seen Morello in, or Andrex actually.
Andrex might have been in though, considering he's only now coming on the final corner.
Great point. Great point.
Below as well. Quite close to Jam Mai actually.
And Darren hasn't been.
Battle for 17th there. Both of these guys presumably might have pitted. Never mind. Jam Mai now goes into the pit, so they aren't actually close. And let's see how he will approach the pit. And will Jam Mai be a nice man? Yes, he will. Nice and steady. There we go. Good stuff from him. And Brillo carries on. Ram is close. Oh, wait, that's Ram and Andres close together.
Yeah, very close.
Interesting.
They weren't close together either.
I thought Ram was way ahead of him.
I've not seen Andrex in pit. I don't know whether you have.
I haven't seen him in the pits.
I think Ramdrop has pitted and has come out around Andrex.
But where is Atharion?
Let's come that way. What?
Where's Atharion?
Atharion's way up the road.
Oh, he still hasn't pitted yet. Oh wow. So okay, interesting. But Andrex was.
You started a beatbox thing going on it.
Andrex wasn't that far behind Atharion though, was he?
He was falling off the back of it. I don't know. I don't know.
Section overtake, by the way. Atharion again letting a car that has pitted through.
That was the best commentating I've ever heard. There's an overtake, by the way, and Atharion is coming in now. So now we'll see how close he's.
Now we'll see. Yeah, exactly. I think Andrex is pitted.
One of us is about
if
to be proven
Atharion, yeah, exactly. If Atharion comes out close to Andrex now, then I will be proven right, and hopefully that'll be the case. But I think Ram has had a problem somewhere.
Because I'm confused. In that case, if we go by your logic and Andrex and Atharion is pitted, what the hell did Ramdrop do? Because he was way up the road.
That's a good question. That's a very good question. Yeah, he was running in 10th from last I remember.
God damn, you're going to be right.
There we go. Atharion, stay there for a bit longer, then you move, and then Ram goes through.
He's probably going to be behind Andrex. He is.
Be easily behind Andrex. Yeah. So the undercut, obviously, Andres did get
Very apparent.
quite a big undercut as we think, because we haven't seen him in the pits, so we definitely have some hit in the last 2 laps.
think?
I know.
Oh,
Not personal. So, yeah, interesting though. Theron had a slight pace advantage of Andrex earlier in the race, so see if he can close those 2, 3, 4 seconds on him now, and maybe make that battle again. Ram though might be looking to pull away a little bit.
Ram has confused me because he was with Jeff. He and Jeff were getting close. I remember saying it.
Yeah.
Jeff's just gone through Cops, and Ramdrop is going through Luffield now.
Yeah, that sounds
What
like
happened to Ramdrop?
that sounds like spin territory to me. Some kind of spin, maybe. Similar, similar lost time to what Hideaki had, I would say.
Yeah. Then again, Hideaki had a big crash.
Yeah, true. But he only had to carry that damage though for a couple of corners.
True. Talking of Hideaki, he's up to 6th place, which is, I think, actually about where he was after his crash.
Oh, and it's
But
behind
he's
Sula.
right on the back of Sula, yeah. And actually, talking of people pulling away and what have you, which we weren't, but I've just segued that. D. Keller is actually pulled away from F-Mate now. So
Yeah, that's interesting.
the pace seems to have flipped back towards Keller. Maybe Keller just sat behind him and just watched what F-Mate did.
Oh!
F-Mate was oh, what?
Sorry, I'm watching Hideaki. That looked very closer than it was, because he was taking such a tight line through Brooklands, whereas Sula was going super wide on the entry. So I nearly thought Hideaki was going up the inside, but it was just a differing lines there. Kind of playing tricks with him.
Just blend the camera, blend the camera.
So yeah, let's go and look at the gap actually. That's only about a second and a half still though, between Keller and a mate. Last lap, only a 10th between them. Goldfather shift as well. Oh my word, Goldfather shifts in 4th. 3 thousandths of a second slower than Keller on the previous lap. That is quite close.
Okay, so although he's leading the race... Oh wait, hang on. No, never mind. I hadn't scrolled up. I was looking at the table, I was going to go, well, at least Sharp's not got the fastest lap, but I didn't scroll up enough, I couldn't see his lap, and he has.
Well, Chaff basically just needs 16 laps without disconnecting, crashing, getting disqualified, you know, any other things that could go wrong.
He just needs to cruise around.
Get abducted by aliens. Just had to avoid these things, and he should have the championship wrapped up.
Yeah, it's. I'm sure the long time ago nightmares of him dropping it on the last lap in the BMW. He's not thinking about them at all. Think about them. Think about them.
And unfortunately, we have had a move for P5 while we were pointlessly watching the leader go around by himself. So Hideaki's made a move on Sula. I didn't actually see. Did anyone make creative suggestions earlier on?
Oh, good point.
With the move between F-Mate and Keller.
It doesn't matter now because they flick back.
Yeah.
So now it's got to be what happened between Hideaki and Sula.
Okay. The one thing we need to do in this race, if there's an overtake between Keller and Mates again, we need to get it. But at the moment, actually, Keller is pulling away even more, I think. Further 2 tenths on the previous lap, so yeah. Yeah, F-Mate not looking at as quick, actually, as he was earlier on in the race.
He's only on 1 lap older tyres, so...
No, I thought F-Mate is on 1 lap fresher tyres, actually.
Yep, you're right. So he's on better tyres. You should catch him. Catch him.
Should, in theory, based on the basis of the start, be catching, but yeah, Keller maybe. I know that Keller hasn't done as much practice this season, really, as usually anyway, as he has done in the past. So maybe it's the case as well of Keller, you know, getting blended into the track more, getting a bit more confident, and
you can't use that as an
Oh,
simple as that. Everyone has the same amount of time, depending on what you do, you know.
no, I'm just saying. I'm trying to explain why he might now be quicker than the start of the race.
I'm just saying. Also, I'm only watching the Sula and Hideaki back because we're not missing another pass, and they're the closest on track back.
Huh.
And ultimately, no one can see my screen, so it doesn't matter if I just sit and watch one screen for a while.
Sure. Lap time comparison again, got further shift, dropping a little bit further back. But yeah, on that lap actually, FMA did gain back the 2 tenths that Keller got on the previous lap. So it's definitely very close. We can only hope, I guess, that these guys will get close again in the last 15 laps at some point, because we like to see battling, especially inside the podium positions. I doubt that Sula will be able to close the gap on Hideaki, considering their pace at the start of the race, with Hideaki being up in seconds before his spin.
That's a good point.
As for Rattrod, he is very lonely indeed. 16-ish seconds from him up to Sula in 6th, and he's got about 5 seconds to build this behind. Who's got a further 5 seconds to Jeff behind. Who has got a further 15 seconds to Brandress behind.
I think we need a safety car.
Safety car, well, Project Cars 2, hopefully. Haven't heard anything about that, but we can hope.
We wouldn't take it on anyway.
Yeah, well, yeah. Depends how broken it is.
No, let's be optimistic.
Yeah, well.
Oh, position. Not really. Jam's getting lapped by D. Keller.
Oh, let's look.
Gonna pass him on.
Oh, side by side.
Mate,
Side by side. Oh,
Jam. I thought Jam was going back up the inside then.
not quite. And now Jamai will have to get out of the way of F-Mate as well. He might wait till...
Nice.
No, there we go. Not causing any problems for him. F-Mate, sorry, Jamai is currently the last man on the track. So 2 cars lapped at least, because you mentioned earlier that Janetta had been lapped. Rillo is 14th still. Actually, is that car behind him? That is Danger Janetta, so those two aren't too far apart actually, only a second and a half or so. And yeah, half a second quicker for Danger Janetta on the previous lap. Maybe that's a potential future battle we might have to look at.
And I think Dangerous Janetta hasn't pitted because he's unlapped himself on Shaft.
But maybe he just pitted earlier than Shaft.
Yeah, but consider how far back he was. He was already way behind Shaft and then he crashed.
Yeah. I'd be surprised though if Danger Janetta is catching Rillo by half a tenth a lap. I'm not sure.
Are you
Has
suggesting...
Shaft pitted twice? Just to rub it in.
Otherwise, you're suggesting that Danger Janetta, when he pitted, had the most amazing pace ever.
Of course he has. He ain't seen a Janetta.
Oh, well, that's it. You've sold it right there. I mean, considering his best lap is only 3 seconds and a bit slower than Shaft, I'm sure that's what happened.
Yeah. No, Shaft had 1 good lap and nothing else can get closer to Janetta. But,
consider only that his best lap and his last lap were about 400ths apart.
yeah.
Oh! Talking of which.
Ah, Janetta. Well, he has dropped it out of chicane, so I think there was some false hope on that potential battle for 14th. I was still 14 laps to go. You never quite know. So,
And Shaft's right behind him.
yeah,
now.
might as well.
I mean, no, don't defend. That'll be bad. That'll be bad.
Take him out.
Nice.
Championship,
All
he's
right,
still on.
that's a bit much. That's a bit much. There's a little bit of hilarious defending. That's one thing. But
Godfather
taking
Schiff
someone out.
with the monies, getting Janetta to get in the way. Very tactical.
Godfather of Shift hasn't won a race this season.
He hasn't actually, yeah.
He's only had 2 podiums.
Godfather Shift has been super consistent until his DNF. But yeah, and it's really that consistency that has him up in 2nd place at the moment. 2 podiums, but 2 5th places, 1 4th, 1 8th. So yeah.
Consistency is a great way of getting a good position.
At the moment though,
Picking
yeah.
up points every time you can.
Yeah, that is definitely the key in a league like this. And interestingly, Keller in 2nd place at the moment. I'm gonna quickly remind myself of the point system. I think that's 6 points between 2nd and 4th. Yeah, 32 points for P2, 26 points for P4. So at the moment, Keller closing the gap to Godfather Shift for 2nd place in the championship by that amount, which
By how many points?
By 6. It
So
was
it'd be 10
16,
points
so it'd be 10.
behind.
Yeah, exactly.
I
You are
good at
very
this.
good at that, yeah.
I'm not.
And both of them will be jumping Nova, who is there to defend his positions at the moment. Hideaki as well, he was 30 behind Nova, he's currently 5th. Oh, that's going to be close. No, that's only 23 points for Hideaki, so he won't quite get ahead of Nova this week, but presumably, unless something bad happens last 2 races, he should get him there.
Where's Biltis? Biltis is where? He's 8th. How many points do you get for 8th?
For P8, he will get a solid 14 points.
He's going to jump a lot of drivers. Because Suomi's not here. Is in on his Claessens, yes?
Claessens, yeah, Claessens was
He's
here.
out.
He's no longer
Vernux,
here.
not
Vernux
here.
is here because he is F-mate.
Oh!
Definitely not going
Right.
to jump in.
Not him. Ignore him. But you should get Suomi and Claessens.
Good, yeah. The
Alright, so when I said a lot of positions, I meant 2.
Yeah, well, it's more than 1.
That's a lot.
So, yeah, Built is having a solid debut season as well, I would say. Also consistent in his results. He's on for another 8th place. He's already had 2 of them this season. He's had 2 5th places and a 12th and a 11th. So, yeah, I wouldn't really fault his debut season performance. Anyone else who really is in a position to gain here? Sula is in. Yeah, Sula's. No, but the gap to Brandress is too big, really. 20 points in the championship. We'll definitely close that in quite a bit with 6th place compared to 10th.
Psst.
What?
We've got a potential battle coming soon.
What?
Thorian and Andrex. Somehow Thorian ended up. Oh, he was already behind him after the pit stop. So Thorian is caught up to Andrex. Now we can stop looking at the table.
Unbelievable
Focus
scenes.
on the last race again. Oh god! Oh, Janetta's just getting out of the way hilariously through maggots and nuggets. That's fine. That was undue panic, unnecessary panic.
Good. While Hetharian closes up to Andrex there, I'm going to just give another.
Oof!
I'm not going to do anything because that was close.
He closed rapidly there.
Yeah, he heard me say that and he wanted to interrupt me straight away.
Told you before.
Yeah.
Told him before. Stop having the stream in the cars.
Yeah, he probably has it on that little display on his steering wheel.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
I mean, why wouldn't he?
That is the best way to watch the stream while you're in the car. So, yeah, good battle. I'm gonna might as well go on board with the front of Tharian's car because we haven't had any bumper cam views so far out of this race, just to get an idea of the lines. Oh my word, that's the wrong pit lane, man. Jesus, Tharian. That was a bit of an overstay moment there. He saved it though. That's,
Can I give a shout out? A happy, as in to a driver, as in they've done something amazing.
Oh.
So you know how we were saying that Sula wouldn't catch Hideaki?
Has he caught him?
He's not caught him. He took 3/10 out of him on the last lap, and he's not that far behind.
And what the? Ram has fallen into Andrex again, somehow. Not sure how that happened, but there we go. Okay, so 3-way scrap then, for 11th place. Racing incoming here, as Andrex will potentially get a run into Stowe. Is Ram going to go defensive? He is actually going to go very defensive. Andrex has been doing well in the outside line earlier in the race, but this time he's not quite as long alongside as he was then. Now he's going to get a great exit, and now with the inside line into the chicane, side by side potentially, but Bram is a lot later on the brakes, will claim the inside on the exit. Andrex, oh my word, actually that's a big overstay moment for Ram. He's dropped both of the positions straight away there. He did well to save it, but yeah, that's going to lose him a lot of time on the exit, and down to 13th position. It's gone wrong for Ram really, who was on for his first elite top 10 finish, but now he's here scrapping away for 11th and dropping those 2 places.
As well as Ram did to save it. Credit to Andrex for well avoiding that.
Yeah. That is.
But it was only a little mistake. He's still with that pack, and he was showing good pace earlier, so it's not over completely.
Yeah. Oh, it doesn't show his previous lap. Actually, it might have been maybe a cut track penalty somewhere. Then that made him fall into Andrex in the first place, because I think that is a potential reason for the lap not counting. But in any case, Ram might well have the pace to get back on. His fastest lap of the race is a 1:58.999, which is half a second quicker than Andrex's best lap, and 9/10 quicker than Hatharian's best lap. So yeah, Ram really should have the pace unless his tires are in a worse state than the cars ahead of him for whatever reason. Getting a nice apex hit there through Cops, but yeah, I think he'll have to stay patient at least until the hanger straight.
Yeah, but the point you made about his tyres, if he's had a couple of spins, that will knacker your tyres out a little bit.
True.
Look, God, did you see how well the Audi stuck to the apex through Beckett's there compared to the Bentley? The Bentley was kind of cruising around, sort of almost leaning over, but the Audi was like, "Yeah, I can do this. What you want? Throw it more at me. Throw more at me. I got this."
So yeah, Ram wasn't quite able to get close enough out of there. So now I can try and do what I was doing earlier and just give the shout outs to let's see, Jimmy Welsh, Baba Uglu 06 and Gravel Trap King, who have followed the stream channel in the last hour or so. Also,
You know that second name?
Sure.
Did you just have a stroke?
Probably.
Can you just say that?
Baba Uglu. Come on, he probably is very proud of that name.
I'm not dissing the name, right? What?
Hatharian made contact with Andres actually through the arena. Middle part of the apex, it looked like. Not quite sure why that happened. Maybe he just lost his braking a little bit, or Andres was surprisingly slow for his liking. But in any case, Hatharian is back again behind Ram and dropped a second or so. That's unfortunate for him.
I'm sticking with the Sula and Hideaki battle.
Okay, that's good.
As Sula took another 3/10 out of Hideaki on the last lap.
Right, and I see that actually Keller and Mate are now within about a second. See if we can get a good reference physically on the track here. Just over a second then actually, I would say, but still. They are very close together. F-Mate is not exactly dropping off Keller, but yeah. If he is closing, it's going very slowly at the moment. I'm going to go back down to 11th place and see if Ram will be able to close in on the Mercedes down the hanger straight.
Hatharian picked up any damage from that contact because he's dropped off the back of Ramdrop and Andrex. I can't see any damage.
Yeah, it's kind of hard to see as well with the headlights and the neon lights. But maybe look like a little bit of scrape at the front there. Might just be a bit of dirt though, but I'm not sure. Oh, it's very off the apex there. Yeah, and Hatharian definitely struggling now. Let's actually have a look at the previous lap time.
2 minutes.
Yeah.
Well, they had contact.
Yeah,
so.
yeah, that's the start of it. So Ram then, it's up to him really if he wants to get 11th place, and he has got one of the most notorious hard cars to overtake in the league ahead of him. Andrex on pace. Oh.
And Hideaki was wobbling all over the place going into stone. I don't know whether it was lag or anything, but it looked like his car got scared of the braking zone. It's put Sula's right on him now.
Yeah, that is definitely less than a second between those two cars. And actually, I was gonna give a shout out to as well. Mini Mariner was finally joined us in the stream. Well, he joined us quite a while ago, but.
Gonna say, what do you mean finally? He's missed off the majority of the race. What's he doing? He's normally first here.
Yeah, that's a good point. But well, this is better late than never. Or is this saying? Sula nearly ran to the back of Hideaki there. Managed to get it cut back nicely though, for a decent exit by the looks of it. And now with a bit of potential slipstream, but 3 or so car lengths between the two at the moment going into Brooklands. Sula with a much tighter line. Hideaki with a much tighter line. Sula with a much wider line, cutting it back and gaining time there by the looks of it.
Where's Hideaki's pace gone?
Good question.
His last lap was like a second slower than his best. Sula's just running his race.
Yeah,
he's
look
not
how close
exactly
he's getting
going.
now. Wow.
And now he's in the slipstream. Now it's and Hideaki goes a bit wide through cops.
Sula
And then
did
he
a
got on the
bit
curb
wide
as
as well.
well. Oh, this is getting close. He's going to have a little run. I don't think so. No, he wasn't quite close enough to make that happen.
Well,
No, Sula's in a great place
We've
right
yet
now.
to see side-by-side into Maggots where the outside car wins out. I think.
That's because you'd be suicidal.
Yeah, but yeah.
It'll be amazing if anyone does it, Sula, if you're listening. But hey, you know, it's going to take some commitment.
Oh, Hideaki forced defensive now, though. Still on the outside into Stowe.
defensive.
Probably going to cut back underneath, or try to anyway, on the exit. But the Z4 having good grip through the corner there. Might be forced defensive, though. No, Hideaki not feeling the need for it at the moment. Sula taking a slightly tighter line to maybe just put his headlights firmly in the mirrors of that Z4. To just, in case Hideaki wasn't aware already, he's definitely there now. And now he might move to the inside into the first corner. Oh, backs out of it. That would have been nearly suicidal as well, actually. And Hideaki just turning back onto the apex. So a wise move from Sula there to back out of it. And
Well, I was just flicking back to see the Ram Drop and Andrex. They're not quite close enough yet, which is annoying because we've had a long period of the race where no one's been near each other, and now we've got two cars in two separate battles.
these guys need to learn to space the battles out a little bit.
I don't think Ram Drop's close enough yet, so we can stick with the Hideaki and Sula.
Good. Yeah, it does look like a
Oh,
close one.
Hideaki's very wide through Brooklands.
Side through Luffield maybe. Sula taking a very wide entry though, which surely means he's going to cut back to get a nice exit, but he didn't quite get down on the apex properly there. He's still going to get a good run though in the slipstream down into Cops. But Hideaki is putting his car in the right place at the moment. And again, Sula, will he get a good run through Cops though? We saw this on the last lap when he got a run into Maggots. Hideaki on the curb a little bit, but this time they're not quite as close. Sula will have to wait to pull off that around the outside Maggots move for now.
You stick with that. I'm with Ram Drop and Andrex. They're also very close at the minute.
Yeah.
I'll shout if something's about to kick off.
Alright, good stuff. So let's see then if Sula, with only 6 laps to go after this one, will get a chance to overtake Hideaki here. Hideaki going defensive slightly there in the braking zone for Stowe. And now coming towards the chicane. Sula again very close, but Hideaki just not, you know, he's not being forced into putting his car off the racing line unless it's absolutely necessary. Hideaki just he's driving his laps, driving his line, hitting his braking points at the moment. Sula, it's his job to somehow manage to find a way through here. Hideaki is definitely not making it easy for him. Obviously, Hideaki would have wanted to fight for a podium in this race, but his earlier spin, P5, is what he'll have to settle for.
You call it a spin, I call it crash.
Well, spin, that...
I mean, he did crash.
Well, yeah, well, he spun. And then
Ram Drop is getting very close to Andrex now. He's nearly pushing him through Maggots and Beckett. Oh my god.
That's a good picture as... Sula not taking quite as wide an entry into Brooklands this time, but still getting very close through Luffield. I'm kind of scared of going back to have a look at the Andrex battle.
That's fine.
Yeah.
You'll know if they're side by side, trust me.
Yeah, you kind of feel like Sula could just pull off a move at any point here. But really, it's going to be hard. Oh, he's getting very close. Oh, actually, inside line through Cops now. Hideaki will be forced to leave him room on the apex. And there we go. He's still carried on around the outside without hitting the curb, actually. And this time, there will, again, be side-by-side into base. Will Sula pull off the round the outside move? He's going to try it. And there we go. He has actually managed to do it. Unless Hideaki will cut it back underneath and get the over. Oh, he's going to still be side-by-side. Hideaki's going to get him back around the outside of the next corner. Still side-by-side on the exit through Chapel and onto the hangar straight. Now Hideaki with the slipstream. Sula will be forced to go defensive surely into Stowe. Fantastic racing between these two cars. And there we go. Sula is going to be ahead for the time being unless Hideaki can get a better exit into the chicane. But it looks like Sula, against what we thought earlier, has found the pace out of nowhere to make the move on Hideaki. And he is up to P5. Fantastic stuff.
I'm so glad I cut back to see that. That was amazing racing. To go back round the outside of someone through Beckett. Oh my god, what a move. which is fine because the Andrex and Ramdot battle have been interrupted by Sharf coming through to lap them. So
wow, that's God,
you stuck with it. I'm glad you stuck with it.
I'm glad as well. I'm now exhausted. I'm really.
I know you should.
That battle made me hungry for some reason, but
hungry.
I don't know. I just suddenly am really hungry. I feel like I've lost
You're
all
broke.
energy. I need to eat to try and figure out how to get through these last 5 laps. But in any case, Hideaki now has dropped a few car lengths back as they're now coming through traffic. Actually, that was Rillo getting out of the way. Oh, and Sula spins it! After lapping the back marker, he has gotten off the line maybe slightly into Brooklands, and all of that battling was for absolutely nowhere as Rillo was caught off guard from that spin as well. He's partly in the gravel trap, although he's a lap down. But Sula has thrown it all away. Why has he done that? Hideaki, though, will be very pleased, because it was looking like he was no top 5 from this week. But Sula seems now to have gifted it to him, unless...
Jeff and Biltis.
Oh, where's that come from?
I don't know. I just flicked through. Biltis just ran a little bit wide through Brooklands, and Jeff's right with him now.
So, which of these were ahead before? Have they changed around, or...?
No, I don't think they've changed round.
No.
I think they'll drop back.
So Jeff has caught Biltis then.
Caught him by 9/10 on the last lap.
Oh, wow. Big pace difference then between the McLaren and the Mercedes SLS. With only 4 or so laps to go in the race. Actually, I assume Chavez started. So it's a 4.5. They're very close through Maggots and Beckett's now. Jeff with the pressure on Biltis at the moment.
It's all come alive.
It really
If
has.
you stuck with this, if you stuck with this, your patience has been well rewarded.
Yeah. It's good to see. And there's going to be side by side actually. Bill is going super defensive into Stowe. Whoa, there's a slight bit of contact between the two of them. Bill is just saying, no mate, forcing you out there on the worst line. And Jeff will have to find somewhere else to make the move. So,
I'm surprised to see so many cars taking such a defensive line to Stowe, because it doesn't really work for that corner.
well, it's definitely one of the corners where you can hold it around the outside to good effect.
You can, but to take such a tight line on the inside of Stowe, that's putting some confidence in the fact that you're going to be able to hold the position.
Yeah, and also be able to not understeer wide
Exactly.
on the entry, because that's very easy as well. Oh! I just seen on my timing. Ram has had a problem. Ram has dropped away from Andrex. And he has been overtaken by a Tharion, so there's a definite mistake there from him.
Wait for 2 minutes.
So these three...
Oh, Jeff and Biltis are getting very close. Jeff's going up the inside into Brooklands.
Ooh.
Biltis is trying to hang it on the outside. It will work if you can get on the inside for Luffield.
Oh, he's a bit of the curb though. He's going to run wide slightly through the next corner.
This should set Jeff up for a tremendous exit out of this out of Luffield.
Oh, wobbly from Biltis there, out of the corner there, and he's gonna go defensive into Cops. That's a hard corner to defend though, because he really wants a good line through there, and Jeff with the straight line speed will maybe be able to cut in front, but no, he's forced to leave the room the exit because Biltis still had part of his car there, and that has really cost Jeff because they then run on the curb as well, and Biltis is still ahead.
Yeah, Biltis is not giving this one up at all. He's running in this place for most of the race, and either he's dropped back to Jeff or Jeff's caught him up, and well, that works both ways, I guess. And he's not letting Jeff through, not in the last 3 laps, not a chance.
Yeah, still pointing out as well that Keller and Mate are still only separate by about second in the battle for second actually, but we're going to stay with this because they're still side by side for 8th, and Bilt is this time avoiding the contact through Stowe. There's going to be only 3 more laps of racing after this one, so Bilt that is what you will have to get through to hold on to this one. Jeff's going to go for the lunge potentially. He did go for the attacking line, but not quite as late on the brakes as Bilt was. So Bilt is hanging on, but wow. McLaren versus Mercedes, if only we had these battles in F1.
Absolutely. We would have one driver not complaining.
Yeah. Let's have a quick, actually, yeah, it doesn't look like Jeff's going to be close enough right here. So Charv has 2.5 laps to go. He's actually coming down to Stowe now, so he's well ahead. He's got about 20 seconds, 25 seconds on Keller. And let's have a quick look at the gap between Keller and the Mate. They're still around about a second. We have got Godfather shift, a few seconds behind them, so he's on for 4th place. Hideaki now ahead of Sula again after Sula's mistake. Ratrug in 7th, he's then got a lap car behind him, so yeah, the next battle behind him is Biltis and Jeff. Stay with us, Stevie, and scream if something happens, and I will just remind ourselves of the rest of the pack at the moment. Brandris quite lonely there in 10th at the moment. Andrix back into 11th. Well, actually, he was already in 11th for a while, but under no pressure now, with the Ram having some kind of problem. Atharan up to 12th, and then Ram in 13th. Rillo 14th. Go on.
Oh my god, that was good commentary right there.
Fantastic.
So what happened in hindsight is Biltis got a little bit on the curb through cops, and Jeff had a half a look into maggots and thought, oh. But that was exceptionally close. I think he could have done.
Miniman is telling you to speak, so that's a good advice, I would say. So you can try to speak us through this battle.
Again. Biltis on the inside is defended. Jeff's going to try and cut to the inside, but he's not quite close enough. He's going to set himself up for a lunge or a little bit of a lock, but it's not close enough coming out the stair, I don't think, to have a go. To be the mother of all dive bombs.
Yeah.
Hashtag Moad.
Really would, as Biltis is still hanging on. He only needs to do 2 more laps. And yeah, seems to have him covered somehow, despite all these side-by-sides. He always comes out on top at the moment, so Bilt is really doing an amazing job in that McLaren to hold on despite the pace advantage that it looked like Jeff was having, considering when we noticed that he had closed up, he was 9/10 of a second faster on that lap. So they're actually coming up to back marker as well.
And actually, Ratrug's not that far up the road.
Bilt is running really wide on the curve there, actually, but somehow Jeff hasn't closed in on him as a result of that. That was slightly false excitement from me then on that occasion.
But for the record, Fizzy said scream. I made sure he was aware. I didn't explain what was happening, but we were aware something was happening.
And again! So,
I thought Jeff was going to try and capitalise and go around the outside a little bit, but so he's tucked up behind him.
He's going to get a surely much better exit header. Oh, yeah, oversteer for Biltis. There we go. Finally, Jeff has got the break that he needed. Easily ahead now into Cops. Biltis will not have any part of his car alongside, this time to defend. But there we go, with a lap and a half remaining. Biltis unfortunately has dropped down from 8th into 9th, but Jeff will gladly take that 8th place position at the moment. He's 6th in the championship, and will not be passing Hideaki though. They're only 1 point apart going into this race, but Hideaki is ahead of him now by 3 positions. So actually, I'm going to go up to Charf, because he doesn't have too much long to go in the race, only half a lap. We'll get back to that, because mate Keller is a bit closer, although actually Keller in the last couple of laps has pulled out a few tenths again.
What? I'm confused. Why has Hideaki dropped towards Sula?
Oh.
They're right next to each other again. After Sula's spin.
Yeah, he must be serving on tyres there.
Sula gained 1.1 seconds on the last lap on Hideaki.
Oh my word. And he could get close actually in the slipstream into Brooklands. Is he go for a lunge? He only has half a lap to do it, so he really has to try something now that he's...
I'll tell you when Shelf's near the end.
Yep, do that. And yeah, so I'm gonna stay with it. He needs to nail the exit now on what we think it might be complete shot tyres there on that Z4. Sula gaining the slipstream down into Cops. Hideaki feeling the need to go defensive, but Sula's gonna cut into the inside line. Oh, and they're side by side through Cops here. And Hideaki on the curve, there's a bit of contact, and he's gone off the track there. Has Hideaki? I think Sula's got that position, yes, because Hideaki had to slow down a bit to save the car there.
And Charf has won.
It's a bit of a racing incident there, I think, so I'm going to go up to Charf again, who has now come across the line, as you rightly pointed out. Keller is going to come around the chicane, and now the final corner to get second place, holding on mate with pace instead of defending. He really didn't fall back into him after being overtaken by a mate earlier on in the race. Jumped him in the pits, and that's second and third for those two drivers. Next we will have, of course, Sula, who just took that 5th place position. Sorry, Godfather shifted, come across in 4th, and then we're going to have 5th place position with Sula, if he can keep it nice and tidy through these final few corners. And it looks like he will. Just Gonna make sure not to lose it on the sausage curb there on the final corner. Hideaki going well off the track behind. He's gonna come home in P6. And then next we will have a Rattrag. He is not actually in P10. The game is, as usual, getting confused by back markers crossing the line for cars on the lead lap. The Rattrag will be in a solid P7 for him, which is his joint's best result in the league.
I think Biltis has run out of fuel.
Oh dear.
Because he's dropped off the back
there.
of Jeff immensely, and he's going very slowly. And Brandreth might actually catch him before the line if this is his pace. It might be close. He should have it, but it might be close.
Oh yeah, he's coming. He's coming into the chicane. If he's actually out of fuel, he's going surprisingly quickly. But definitely some kind of problem there. Yeah, Biltis does hold on to 9th then. And then Brandreth will get the final top 10 position. And then who will be next? Is that Andrex? Andrex. Yes, I think he's crossed the line already. Has he?
Yeah, Andrex is 11th.
He's been left then, actually.
Yes.
Okay, that's fine. Yeah, so we got the order then.
and it's worth pointing out that Schaff has now won the championship.
That's a good point. Schaff has won the championship.
From lights to flag.
Wasn't really a surprise.
Just ran away.
Yeah.
Led that's it. That's the Grand Slam. Fastest lap. Pole led every lap.
Schaff does.
Although, well, yes, because he would have been classified when he came in the pits in the lead. He got overtaken in the lead, but then went back out.
Yeah, Schaff doing
so
what
he
he
lost
does
the lead
best.
for about 8 seconds.
Yeah. So, Schaff, the new champion of AOR GT3 Season 7, following in the footsteps of course, likes of Brownski, F1 Master. You laugh at Brownski, that's not very nice.
No, I knew you were going to say it.
Well, okay, he's following in the footsteps of the likes of F1 Master, Kaki. Jesus, help me out.
Don't refer to me as Jesus, and I don't know.
Brownski!
Suomi?
No.
No? Anyway, look, he's won a championship. Didn't he win the BMW thing as well?
He did win the BMW thing as well.
So it makes him a 2-time champion.
Mangator won the championship. He's following in the footsteps of F1 Master, Kaki, Mangator, and Brownski.
That only took you 3 attempts. and I was no use to beat you there either. But hey, you got there in the end, and that's all that matters. No, he based on results, he's a fully deserving champion.
Yeah, absolutely.
He went untouched today.
So fantastic, obviously, scrapping for race wins with Nova in the first half of the season. Unfortunately, Nova kind of bottled it in one way. And so Schaff then has dominated the next 3 and very deserving. I know we've spoken to Keller before, his teammate, and he's saying that always that Schaff puts a lot of practice in, puts in a lot of hours to get the pace that we see, and
this is his reward.
This is his reward indeed. So well done to Schaff. That's all we can really say. And I assume we will get him into the commentary box in a second for a bit of a champions interview. Any other suggestions for who we should interview, actually?
I don't know about interview, but I know my highlight was I can't remember who it was. Hideaki and Sula through Maggots and Beckets.
Yeah, might want to get one of those.
One of them two might be in.
Yeah. We get Chow for one of those two. I can't be bothered getting a third, I think,
Or
because I'm
Ramdrop.
so hungry. What?
'Cause we want to know what happened to him near the pit stops.
Yeah, maybe, yeah. Could do that. It doesn't look like Ramdrop is in the channel,
Oh,
though.
never mind.
The Sula is there. Hideaki is there.
I feel like the champion should get first.
But
dibs.
champion, of course, should get first dibs indeed. So let's drag Charf down into the commentary box.
Yeah,
Charf.
Congratulations.
And celebrations.
oh, hello, thank you.
Well done, Charf. You are the new AOR PC GT3 Elite Champion for Season 7. How do you feel?
I was excited, yeah, nice man. Yeah, I feel great. Finally, after last season where it was equal points, now I got it done. Great.
Yeah, wow, yeah. You just reminded me actually, yeah, last season, the battle with Magator for the title when you lost out by 0 points just by the count of race wins. Crazy, but now you have gotten it fully deserved as well. Obviously you had lots of close battles with Nova in the first half. Unfortunately, he didn't want to finish that up, so... but in any case, you know, you might well have won it anyway, because you've been absolutely dominating in the last 3 rounds. And, you know, we know that you put a lot of hours in for this, so...
Yeah, we could have had some more close battles, but yeah, I did definitely put in hours because I really wanted this, and yeah, now it happened. Really cool.
Yeah, you certainly you've worked hard for it, and you get the reward for the work.
Yeah, definitely.
And you got this is a Grand Slam. You got fastest lap, pole position, and you led every lap.
Hell yeah, nice man.
How do you feel, you know, the season overall? I mean, it's a stupid question really, when you're the champion, but anything you feel you could have done differently, or has it basically just been a perfect run for you?
Well, not perfect, but it was pretty good all around. Could have had some more battles in the last couple of rounds. On Nürburgring, it was pretty nice with Perry.
Yeah.
Until he sadly lost it there, but we had a good fight. And yeah, the season overall was pretty good. I think I did two. So yeah, I was not perfect, but pretty close to it.
Yeah.
And that you can take that. That's, you know, not perfect, but pretty close to it. That's you can take that. That's a good thing to say.
I think that constitutes a solid season.
I'm sure the rest of your rivals have just sat there going, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I'm pretty glad that Silverstone is out of the way because it's a tricky tie where it's really.
You're having some slight issues with your voice here, I think, but
Did this channel push to talk? Wait.
No, it shouldn't be, but you might have it enabled. So.
Yeah, I think I. Hello?
Hello.
Yeah, I turned it off now. It was. I think my button is a bit laggy
Ah, it is. Yeah.
times.
Ah,
Yeah,
well,
I was saying that I was glad that Silverstone's out of the way because I really don't like that track and it's so easy to spam. I think we had a couple in this as well.
Stevie, a person that doesn't like Silverstone, what's your reaction?
I mean,
Sorry?
yeah, you're wrong. Silverstone's a great track, but hey, each to their own. I can't. I lot.
Well,
He's won a championship.
yeah.
I haven't. He knows what he's talking about.
He's a champion. He decides what's a good track.
He's wrong, but he's entitled to be wrong.
All right. Well, you have the championship in the bag. I mean, 2 races to go though. Still, what's your mindset gonna be? You're just gonna chill out for the final 2 rounds?
No, I don't think so. I have time at the moment. I'm free basically, and yeah, I need something to do, so I'm gonna prepare for those just as much as I did for the last couple of races. So yeah.
Really?
Yeah, why not?
That's
Why? Here's an idea for you. Just throwing it out there. Why don't you impose a couple of qualifying bans on yourself and have some fun coming through the field?
Interesting.
I don't know. I could do that. That would be fun.
It reminds you of the old BMW days, you know.
Oh yeah, that reverse grid thing.
I absolutely wasn't hoping for you to have that, like, remembering what happened last time you were at Silverstone with BMW.
Ooh.
But you didn't say
Infamous. Yeah, well, if
infamous last lap bottle.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, I did spin in the second last lap, I think, but I had
really?
enough of a buffer. Yeah, I did.
Well, he's got. What else was he doing? He's got, you know, a million seconds on the guys, and he's got all the time in the world to think.
He could have, well, probably taken some, you know, some donuts to celebrate. I guess.
No, it wasn't that much to do donut.
Alright. Well, don't know what more I can really say apart from, you know, really well done and congrats again on the championship.
Yeah, thank you, man.
What
That was supposed to be background music of congratulations while you two can finish talking, but never mind.
I thought it was the German national anthem.
No, it was Cliff Richard. Congratulations. Get some real music going.
Whoa, did you just diss the German national anthem?
Compared to Cliff Richard,
okay.
We're getting off topic here.
Alright, in any case, Chaff, thank you very much for taking the time to talk to us. Congrats again, and we'll see you next week.
Well done.
Yeah, thanks for your great commentary as usual, man, and see you next week.
Thanks, man.
Alright,
Bye.
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 Yeah.
Do.
Nice guy he is. Right.
Evan, that was not racist at all. I was simply comparing one tune to another, and Cliff Richard's congratulations trumps a lot of things.
Right. There's not actually many drivers left in this chat thing, but we do
Grab
have one out of the two drivers who had that amazing battle. Gonna try grab Hideaki!
Hey!
Hey! Hideaki, are you here? Push the talk, yay!
To push the talk in here as well.
No, but you probably still have it enabled. If you don't have it enabled in the settings, then that's fine. But, Hideaki! What's happened? You were second, and then you weren't.
I spun it off a curb, threw maggots and Beckets,
Oh.
went into a wall, and it just all went wrong from there.
I guess.
So you need a new underwear then, I guess.
Unfortunately, I had prior experience of it from doing it last night in the social race.
Oh, fair enough.
So I guess you were prepared for this, or at least prepared for how to react to it, in terms of not having to change underwear. But yeah, at least then after that, though, the main kind of the thing that prompted us to get you in here was the amazing side by side with Sula that you had through Maggots and Beckets. What on earth was that?
Well, from the spin, I had to pit early, and that meant that the last sort of 6 or 7 laps, my tyres were absolutely done. So I just had no drive out of any corners whatsoever, so he was just getting on alongside me pretty much every corner. And Magnus and Beck is probably the only part of the track where I'm quicker than the rough, so it was the only chance I had to hold on.
Yeah. Well, it was certainly fantastic stuff, you know. First Sula, I mean, we were waiting all race for someone to pull off around the outside through the first part of Maggots, but then you wouldn't have it. You went around the outside and then on the next corner instead. Yeah, fantastic stuff. And overall, though, are you probably a bit disappointed then with second?
Yeah, I throughout the whole first in, I really thought I could have had second.
Yeah.
Pretty comfortable up until the spin.
Yeah.
We've got Watkins and Dubai next coming up. What are your thoughts towards them? Confident?
For Watkins, yes. Dubai, sort of middling. I mean, it's a decent track for the car, but the tyre wear is quite bad.
What's the tyre actually in the end? Because we were a little bit surprised, you know, considering the first stint that you were losing out to Sula on pace a little bit towards the end. Was that tyre wear related, possibly?
I had nothing left by the end of my rears. Like literally, I was struggling just to keep the car in a straight line.
On your rears? Wow, that's surprising. I thought it'd be the fronts that would go around a track like Silverstone.
But it was the front and left, but the rears mostly, because I had a very heavily rear bias setup for traction.
Okay.
Well, it's been, 8 long weeks you've had. Well, you early on reached your goal of the season of getting that podium. Unfortunately, though, it's been with only that one. Do you have any certain goals for the last 2 races of the season?
Let's try and get that second podium.
Yeah, why not? Yeah. Oh, and I guess you're relatively close to Jeff in the championship. Maybe try to hold on to that as well. Godfather Shift and Papan, yeah, unfortunately look a little bit out of reach potentially, unless they have a problem.
Yeah, I think tonight was my best chance to really try and close up on them.
Yeah. Oh well. Doesn't always work out exactly to plan. Either way, thank you for coming in to talk to us. It's always nice to have you.
Thank you for having me.
Yeah, catch you next week.
See ya.
Right,
Bye!
Okay. Well, that's it for the interviews for today. We have a new champion in the league. Charf has been crowned as the Season 7 champion. And is there anything more we need to point out apart from the fact that, of course, as we already mentioned several times throughout the interviews, 2 rounds to go. Watkins Glen and Dubai. We got actually mixed conditions for Watkins Glen next. Heavy cloud and rain as well coming in there. It could be interesting. It's gonna be clear weather though for the season finale at Dubai.
Yeah, it's Be interesting to see how much. I hope personally that Shaft does decide to take that self-imposed qualifying ban and have a bit of fun. But I'm expecting him not to because he's a competitive racer.
Yeah.
And he'll want to win.
I think we'll definitely make for fun action on the track. And it doesn't really matter for the championship for him anymore. But yeah, as you said, he's a super competitive guy. You heard that already by the fact that he didn't want to chill out for the last 2 weeks. He's got time. He's gonna practice. He's gonna rub it in to everyone that he is the best man this season. But yeah, be interested to see what he decides on that one. In any case, though, it is still 2 rounds to go. And of course, I hope that everyone who's been watching today will join us again next week as well. Stevie, thank you very much, of course, as well, for stepping in for Yorkie.
Thank you, Yorkie, for going on holiday and giving me a chance to join the commentary box. It's always fun.
Yeah.
And I enjoy doing it. Spending time with you and the chat.
It was good to have you as well. So,
mainly you. Sorry. I shouldn't have said. Anyway.
Alright. Yeah, and of course, hope you have all enjoyed the stream today. And we'll catch you next week at Watkins Glen.
I won't. He will.
Well,
Yorkie will. I won't.
You will hopefully catch it in the chat. Is that too much else? We'll see.
Bye!
Bye! Good night, everyone.
Love you.